All right, we're back. It's Friday. It's time for our video weekly podcast, and I'm Brad Pinchuk, and I've got Chris with us, Chris Schmidt. Hey, Chris.
What's up, everybody?
So I think you know, if you don't, Chris is the president of the Dedicated Business Group, which includes a bunch of, we've got about 23 on-site spotting locations, I believe, right now. And in addition to that, probably, about 15 or so fleets, Chris?
Yeah.
So we are here today to talk to you about a new relocation program for our drivers. Relocation. So we came up with a program to relocate drivers for both over the road and dedicated. And we're going to roll out that program to you today on what it looks like and talk to you about what the locations are, the different fleets. I think we've got about 5 dedicated fleets that we're going to talk to you about today that we're starting with in addition to the over-the-road. And it's something we expect will grow into other fleets over time. So I'll just maybe... You want to start off, Chris, talking about the relocation program, what it looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't made the official announcement and got details out and everything yet, but we wanted to get the ball rolling here and get the starting point out to you guys as soon as we could. On the dedicated side, we've got 5 fleets: the JBSB fleet up in Grand Island, Nebraska, the Nestle water fleet out of Stanwood, Michigan, and Greenwood, Indiana, the Purdue fleet mainly out of Cromwell, Kentucky. The Smithfield Midwest fleet, the best way to describe that one is the state of Iowa and pretty much every state of Iowa and every state that touches it. And then the 5th one is Demcota up in South Dakota. So those are the 5 fleets that we started with. We have some apartments that we've reached out to and started to work on and to explore details, costs, how it would work. But at the end of the day, the program is a $5,000 relocation package, and the exciting thing is it really helps whether you're an existing driver or a new driver. It really helps you kind of start off on the right foot. We'll pay up to $1,000. So everyone that rents an apartment, you got to pay the first month's rent and a security deposit, usually the same amount. So the way this works is the security deposit and the first month rent up to $1,000 you get right away the first week that you're here, and then we'll also reimburse you up to $1,000 for a U-Haul. So there's kind of about 3 of the 5,000, and then depending on the city, and then at the 6th month, when you're here for 6 months, we'll pay for that month rent. And then at 12 months, we'll pay for that month rent as well. And if you don't use the U-Haul, use your own truck or vehicle, anything that's left, if you've only got paid out $4,200 so far, you'll get an additional $800 to get to the $5,000 at the 12-month mark. So I'm sure I'm skipping some things through here. We'll get some more details released. I'm sure Brad can add to it as well. But at the end of the day, it's a $5,000 relocation package. It's about $3,000-ish in the first week to help get you moved, help pay for the get your stuff moved, and the way it would look is you would be at class on Monday, you'd graduate on Wednesday, and then you'd have the rest of that week to move, and then you'd start hauling freight that following week on Monday. So give you a few days to move and then start rolling.
Yeah. No, I think pretty simple program. Chris nailed it. It's $5,000, and we'll get you relocated, and a lot of that money's up front and a little bit over time. I think it's a real win-win opportunity to get into some nice places, but the benefit for the drivers that move to these places is really a much more frequent home time. I think is a real home run where you'll be able to continue to make real good money, but these are what we'd call ideal locations for these fleets. And in these ideal locations, it's not you know, a lot of places where drivers live, you have to plan to get home. You've got to be very proactive about communicating when you need to be home, and we've got to work proactively here to get you on loads, to get you there, and it's a very deliberate process. In this situation, on these places, it doesn't really require any effort. It just sort of happens based on the flow of traffic.
And it's very likely that, I mean, you'd be able to get home while you're waiting for your next load. You know, take 10-hour breaks at home, stuff like that. At a lot of these locations, like Brad said, it's we pick the ideal cities, you know, the perfect locations, just as a way to it's good for you to get more home time. It's good for us because we're getting the equipment back to the shipper. Shippers are, you guys know, shippers are always in need of more trailers. So it's good for both of us.
Absolutely. So we'll start off on the dedicated side. And Chris had mentioned 5 fleets. He said the names, and I think we'll maybe identify the cities that you're able to relocate to each of these, and then we'll talk about what we're doing for over the road after that. So, what fleet you want to start with, Chris?
Yeah, I'll start with the JBS beef fleet up in Nebraska. So we the city that we picked was Omaha, Nebraska.
It's a nice city. I used to live in Sioux City, the Sioux City area, and got down to Omaha quite a bit. Omaha's a really nice town. Home of Warren Buffett. They've got a lot of cool things going on in that city. I think it's roughly, I'm trying to remember the size of Omaha. I think it's over 1 million, I believe.
Yeah,
I think it's a little over 1
it's a big
million
city.
people. Yeah, and this fleet for JBS Beef, where does it operate?
It kind of stays regional, but we've pretty much helped them clean up what they can't cover. So we'll go to Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, intra-Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois. We get all the way over to Illinois, Wisconsin. Go to South Dakota, Wisconsin, or Wyoming. So,
And
again,
the loads come out of Grand Island?
Grand Island, Nebraska.
Yeah, good. So if we have someone that is in a different dedicated fleet or in the over-the-road fleet, and someone's interested in relocating to Omaha, what do they do, Chris?
Well, we can start off. You can start off by, I think everyone should start off by talking to someone who runs the account, whether it's a dispatcher or a planner. And if you're a driver, you live in whatever Mississippi, and you're interested in moving, I think before you call the HR hotline about relocation, I think you should call operations and understand if it's the account that you want to do, and make sure it's a fit for both parties. And so, to answer your question, Brad. You can go on the link or onto your app. I'll give you the quick step to get there. It was moved on us, so it's a little harder to find, but pretty much main menu on the app. You click the main menu button. You click dedicated resources. It's the 4th row down on the right side. Then you click on dedicated openings, and it has a list of all of our current accounts. And all you have to do is tap the picture. It's a description, and it'll call. It'll go right to a dispatcher or an account manager for that account. So that's where I would start. I would just go on your app, look at our openings, and call them, and understand if it's what you want, and then we can then set you up with the HR relocation expert.
So it's also under announcements.
Okay.
So on your main page in the bubble on the upper left that says announcements, I'm looking at it here. The first announcement is Veterans Day and Reese Across America. The second one is dedicated career opportunities.
Okay. A little easier to find that. Okay.
So that's there, and each of these accounts clearly has a phone number and extension to call down to get more information.
And you can just tap it too, and it calls.
Okay. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. You
Yeah.
can just tap the phone number on each on the
Just tap the picture.
tap the picture, and the phone number comes up. Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Nice. So that's the first one, JBS Beef, Omaha. What's next?
Next, we can go to the Purdue fleet. And I'm actually blanking on which one we said was the perfect location. Do you remember?
I don't know.
Let's skip that one. We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
So we'll go to Smithfield Midwest. For those, Monmouth, Illinois, Lincoln, Nebraska, and then East Dubuque, Illinois are the three cities that we had.
What are they again? 3 cities?
Yep. Monmouth, Illinois, East Dubuque, Illinois, and then Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay. Great locations. Another nice benefit with East Dubuque and Monmouth, both, is both of those locations also have Hirschbach maintenance facilities.
Sure.
And so that's another nice thing. You can have your equipment worked on while you're at home, similar to what Chris was talking about. You can be at home waiting on your load. Well, you can be at home waiting on your truck getting serviced as well as on your load at both of those locations. And I'll announce here, we have a small shop not too far from Lincoln, Fremont, Nebraska. We have a facility that we acquired last year, I think, or 2018, I can't remember.
This year is kind of blurred.
So anyway, it came with a spotting operation there in Fremont, and we are shuttling trailers. The facility there, the customer doesn't have enough space for trailers, so we have this facility we own that stores the empty trailers. We wash them out, but there's a shop that's also associated with this facility, and we've been staffing it up. Primarily at this point, it's been working on the spotting equipment. Now we're opening it up to work on our equipment, whether it be in a dedicated fleet or over the road, to go into Fremont, Nebraska. It's a small shop. It's nowhere near the size of the other ones, but we do have 3 mechanics that are there now and growing. So that's another opportunity for folks that works, whether you're going into the Smithfield fleet and going to be based in Lincoln, or whether you're just going through on an over-the-road load, coming down for Tyson, maybe down I-29 down to Texas. It's an option for you now to have a shop on that side of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those 3 locations would all work for the over-the-road fleet as well.
Right? Yeah. I mean, as far as relocation goes on over the road, absolutely. Those are the same locations that we're looking at for over the road. Be in Monmouth, be in Dubuque. You want to be in Lincoln, that works as well. Come to those locations and get home often for over the road. Again, all roads, we like to say, all roads lead back to the Midwest. You know how our network works. If you're in over the road, you're pretty much we come in and out of the Midwestern and Great Plains states, and so those are great locations to live and also have your equipment worked on while you're at home. If you're interested in you're in over the road and you're interested in taking advantage of this opportunity to relocate, in this case, just raise your hand and let your driver manager know, mm-hmm. and they'll get you hooked up with HR. Christy in HR is going to be the main person that's working on the relocation program. Many of you might know Christy from the wellness program. She is going to be taking on this and helping people relocate, and at the same time, she can give you some wellness tips and advice.
Mm-hmm. So. Win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the next fleet, Chris?
All right, we can go back to Purdue. I was blanking. So Cromwell is
you were blanking, or you just had someone help you via text?
No, I had to look it up quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So I never remember. I knew it was Cromwell, but I couldn't think. Beaver Dam, Kentucky is a little bit bigger city that has some more options. So that's
okay.
That was the one I couldn't remember for Purdue.
Where is Beaver Dam in the great state of Kentucky? Do you know?
Well, it's I think it's like 20, 30 miles from Cromwell. So
okay,
it's pretty close to Cromwell, where we do most of our loads.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then Washington, Indiana, we haul a lot of freight up to Washington. So those are the 2 locations for Purdue. Again, Purdue. Again, we describe a lot of the fleets like this, but there's some intra-Kentucky, but we haul to pretty much every state that Kentucky touches. So that's a good way to kind of describe what we're doing. This fleet, it's a challenging fleet. It's mostly nighttime driving, but if you live in one of those spots, you should be able to get home 3 to 4 times a week for sure. Whether it's take a break there, catch up in some hours, whatever it might be, waiting for a load.
Great. These are great customers that we're talking about that we've done business with for many years, and these fleets have been in place for a while, and in many cases here we're talking about growth of these fleets is what's happening while we're looking for opportunities in just about all of these. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we've talked about Purdue, we've talked about the Smithfield Midwest, we've talked about JBS Beef. Where you want to go next?
So next one we can talk about is the Nestle water fleet. That's an existing customer we've actually been doing dedicated business with them for probably 6 or 7 years, but we are at about 30 trucks, and they want us to grow to about 55, so some big growth there. Water is usually a good indicator of how the market's going, and they've been crazy busy for about 3 months. So, and they expect to stay that way. So the 2 locations for the water fleet are, there's 3. Stanwood is where we do most of our loads out of. It's a smaller city. Grand Rapids is about 30 miles south of there. That's a bigger city, bigger option. So those are both options, as well as Greenwood, Indiana, which is right next to Indianapolis. So those are the 3 for Nestle Water.
If you haven't been to Grand Rapids, Michigan, I have. It is a beautiful area. I grew up in the Chicagoland area, and we went over there into Michigan and spent some time over there. Grand Rapids is a really nice area, definitely. And so is the Indy market. Speaking of the Indy market and staying with shops, we are looking at possibly at opening a shop in the Indianapolis market. We're looking at some existing properties as we speak. Something that would probably be something that we would lease to get things going a little bit and see how it goes. But we think it's a good area for us to capture quite a few of our trucks and dedicated fleets, as well as over the road going through that area. So I would expect that sometime next year we would get something going down there in Indy, hopefully early next year.
Cool. A lot of dedicated fleets around through there, so that's a good thing for sure. So last but not least of the 5 is Demcota up in Aberdeen, South Dakota. So the nice thing about this, we want a lot of our drivers. So the 2 options are Aberdeen, right in Aberdeen, and then Redwood Falls, Minnesota. So Redwood Falls is a little bit. I know I'm trying to pitch you here, but Aberdeen's definitely in the middle of nowhere for sure. So
Aberdeen's actually a pretty nice town.
It's very nice, but it's a long ways from a lot of
I used to live in South Dakota, so don't pick on my former home. I lived there for about 8 years. It was just outside of Sioux City, so the very tip of South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
But Aberdeen, I was up there visiting Demcota when we were courting them and trying to earn their business, and it's a nice town.
It's a very nice town. It's laid back, it's Midwest style,
absolutely.
Slower pace. It's a great place to live. It's just a little far away from stuff. So Redwood Falls is a little closer to some bigger cities. So that's nice to have those 2 options.
The other thing nice about whether it's relocating for over the road or one of these dedicated fleets, aside from some of the benefits that we just mentioned as far as more frequent home time, unscheduled home time, unplanned home time, and maybe being able to have your truck worked on while you're at home. I think there's also a benefit of getting closer with people and forming relationships, whether it be with the customers or the people at the facilities and so forth. And I know that's and doing this as long as I have, I think that's one thing that I know a lot of people really appreciate, and it makes the job that much more enjoyable and meaningful when you can form strong relationships with people that you're working with, whether it be internally at Hirschbach, whether it be the customer, and a lot of these afford that opportunity. So in Dakota, for example, and it's similar at other fleets like Smithfield Midwest, we're not just doing trucking out of there. We're also managing the spotting service, and I think it's a great opportunity to really form some good relationships out
Sure,
there.
and that Demcota fleet, you're home. There's night shifts and day shifts, and we slip seat trucks, but that means you get home every night or every day. So lots of home time available there, and it's one of our higher paying accounts as well. So there's a lot of positives up on that fleet. Absolutely.
That's great. All right. Well, what else do we got?
So I got a pop quiz for you, Brad. Since
Okay.
you kind of jumped me with this a little earlier this morning. Well, didn't give me much time to prepare. My question is, I just want
You
to talk.
had the option. I didn't say, Chris, we're doing this at 11. I said, would you like to do it? So,
That's what I hear you. So Brad, Dan, when Dan's here with us, I've done a couple of these, but Dan, we talk about the market a little bit. So don't need to spend 20 minutes talking about it, but continues to be very tight. My question for Brad is, Brad, how many loads did Hirschbach reject last week?
Oh, wow. Let's see. So, as Chris said, this is a measurement. We monitor this every week, and it's an indication of the strength of the market. And I know the rejections are at an all-time high. I saw the chart last week. It actually eclipsed in March when everyone was raiding the store shelves. We had a huge spike during March, and we eclipsed it last week. But I don't know what the number is. I don't know. Let's say, 1,200 loads, Chris?
2,000 loads
Holy
Hirschbach
smokes.
rejected last week. So
That's a big number.
It's incredible. It's like Brad said, it's our highest. We've been tracking the rejection percentage for about 2.5 years. This is by far the highest we've ever seen. 2018 was the last market tightening that we saw, and we are doubling our rejection percentages of what we were doing back in 2018. So there's a few factors that might add to that. We have more customers now, a little bit broader customer base, causing some higher rejection rates, but it's definitely the tightest market that we've seen. I don't got the 30 plus years of experience that Dan Wallace has to say, what this is doing now, but of my 9 years that I've been doing it, this is definitely the tightest it's been. So it was interesting. I honestly, the 2,000, I wouldn't even have guessed that. I did the math and looked it up, and it just surprised me. So
That's
I
a
wrote
big
it down.
number.
Yeah.
That's a big number. With that, we're seeing a lot of opportunities coming from our customers, both on the over-the-road side and on the dedicated side. And so we're sifting through those to find what we think are the best ones that are going to be, here for a long time to come, not just, over the next couple weeks or months. And, stay tuned because there's a lot of good stuff that I know both Chris and Dan and their teams are working on new business-wise that'll likely be coming here pretty soon. And with that, we need more good operators, and always plug. We have a great referral program. It's really no strings attached, just $1,200, and bring someone good that makes it through orientation and meets our qualification standards, and you get your $1,200. And so help us find good operators like yourself that can help us meet the demands that are out there from these customers. And like I've said previously, being able to provide more capacity to customers, whether it's a new customer and a great new opportunity, or whether it's with an existing customer that's looking for more capacity, it really helps us. That's part of service, is being able to provide them the capacity they need to haul their freight. And customers are really struggling right now. So it's a good opportunity for all of us here at Hirschbach.
Yeah, absolutely. Rejected loads mean we're picking better freight for our drivers, and it's more demand for our service. So, and as Brad said, just to echo what he said, the more capacity we can offer a customer, the easier easier it is to talk about rate increases, which in turn gets more money into your guys' pocket as well. So that's
we can
that's
get
the
more
way
from the
that's way it
customer.
works.
There's more for us to be able to share. So,
Absolutely.
absolutely. You got any more quizzes for me?
That was it.
That was it? Okay.
I mean, I could think of a couple, but just the one.
All right. Well, sounds good. Well, I guess with that, we'll go ahead and sign off.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's good.
Okay.
That's good. Nice little session.
All right. Well, again, just to wrap up, the primary topic here obviously was the new relocation program here at Hirschbach. If you're interested in over the road, contact your driver manager, and they'll get you connected with Christy and get you set up with one of those 3 cities we mentioned, Monmouth, East Dubuque, or over in the Omaha, Lincoln area, so forth. And, of course, the 5 dedicated fleets we mentioned. Go to the website, go to your app and the announcements bucket, and you'll find the second announcement, dedicated opportunities. These first 5 fleets again. You want to mention the first 5 fleets, Chris, again for everyone?
Yeah, I'll start with the first 5, and then we have a couple that have openings as well. But the 5 that are eligible for the relocation are the JBS Beef up in Grand Island, the Nestle Water out of Stanwood, Michigan, the Demcota out of Aberdeen, South Dakota, the Purdue out of Cromwell, Kentucky, and then the Smithfield Midwest fleet. In addition to those, we've got 4 additionals. We've got the Nestle Pizza Fleet, running out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Those drivers average about 26 to 2,700 miles a week, so there's
Big miles on
big
that
miles
fleet.
on that fleet. We've got the Armada Chicago fleet. We've got some additional business from them, so that is growing, running a lot of miles on that account as well. It's most of the freight's out of Chicago, going some Ohio, Michigan, some over to Minnesota, some up to Wisconsin. We've got, and then the last one is that we have an opening on is the Family Dollar fleet out of Ashley, Indiana. This is probably our highest paying account, with Demcota a close second, but it's hand unload, lots of unloading, lots of work, but you get very well compensated for it. So this one's out of Ashley, Indiana. It goes up to Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan.
It's a very well-paid exercise
Workout,
program,
yeah. It's a lot of the
basically.
drivers like it for the workout. We've had
Yeah.
a lot of drivers lose a lot of weight, and
Yeah.
they say thank you. They say thanks. They like being on it. So
Mhm.
it's a challenging account, but it's a very high paying,
Yeah.
low miles. So
Okay. Well, I'm looking at a new Black Freightliner. Looks pretty badass, doesn't it, Chris?
it does. Is black your favorite?
I have not seen. I heard. I'm going to go check out after we get here. I've seen the white. I've seen the black. I've seen the red. I've heard reports that a couple silver ones showed up
I haven't seen
this
the silver
week,
yet
and
either.
so after this, we can go check out the silver one. But at this point, they all look good.
They do.
They all look good. I am enjoying the black one right now. That's
Yeah, I've been a sucker for red my whole life, so
Okay.
the red's my favorite.
Yeah.
So.
Personal preference. They're all good.
For sure. They are.
Not
They all
everyone-
look very sharp.
Not everyone likes orange as much as I do, apparently.
I guess not. Who would have thought?
I don't know. I just thought it was everyone's favorite color. So it's not that we're phasing out orange either. We'll have that as a complementary color as well. But we actually obviously have a lot of orange already in the fleet, so
Yes.
we'll kind of maybe hold off until sometime next year before we start bringing in new trucks in orange.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, we're going to go check it out. Thanks, everyone. I want to, the weather's getting cold here. We're down in the 30s. And, I want to end with, a safety message, please. Operate the equipment properly, safely. Don't cut any corners. Keep your following distance. Watch out for changing road conditions, particularly now that, the cold weather is upon ourselves, black ice and
Yep.
things like that out there. Don't push it. Our customers very much want their freight to arrive on time. More importantly, they want their freight to arrive, and we don't want to see anyone get hurt out there, yourself or anyone else. So please do not take any chances. And, err on the side of safety, please.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thanks, everyone. Take care.
See you guys.